Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of the Family Chit Chat. I'm Tom Pounder. Hey, have you ever wanted to read the Bible but think, man, it is really, really big and thick, and I can't even know where to begin? I don't know what to do or where to start or how even to do this. Well, the good news is, yes, it's a lot of books, a lot of pages. There's actually 66 books in the Bible. Did you know that? Well, it's true. And there's lots of great stories in there. In fact, it's a story about the first creation. There's a story about Daniel in the lion's den, how God saved Daniel from all the lions overnight. A story about Jesus walking on water. There's stories about the first church and how they healed many people. There's so many fascinating stories, both good stories and bad stories. We've talked about some of them in these videos. And the thing is, if you never start reading the Bible, you never start hearing these stories. And you don't really actually get to know who God is, because the more you read the Bible, the more you get to see God's character. You get to see who God is. You get to see him in the Old Testament, which is a lot of the story of the history of Israel, leads into the New Testament about God's love and care for all of us, and how he sent his son Jesus to save us and save the world. And you get to see how the world was changed after Jesus came. There's fascinating stories here, but if you don't ever read the Bible, you can't ever really discover who God is. And so the bottom line of today's little lesson is, when you learn about God, it's easier to follow him. Hey, the reality is, the Bible may seem intimidating and it may be hard to read, but there are tons of Bibles out there. In fact, you could just search Bible on Google and you can learn how to read the Bible right off of your computer or on your smartphone. There's also kids' Bibles, there's families' Bibles, there's teen Bibles, there's Bibles for all sorts of people. There's Bibles just for women, there's Bibles just for men. There's lots of Bibles out there, and so I would encourage you to Google search a Bible that you would be interested in reading from that perspective and see how you can learn who God is, because God is amazing and he's got tremendous love for you. But if you never read about him, you'll never learn it. And if you never read the Bible, you'll never learn who God is. So I want to encourage you today, read the Bible and discover the character of God, discover the love of God, discover who God really is, and see that for yourself. So that's my encouragement for you today. And as you have discovered who God is by reading the Bible, I would love to hear your stories or your thoughts. So put it in the comment section below. I would love to hear your story today. All right, everyone. Well, that wraps up our story for today. It's not much of a story, but just a thought for you to really chew on. But before we go, I want to go over a memory verse we'll be looking at for the next few weeks. 2 John 6. The way we show our love is to obey God's commands. He commands you to lead a life of love. That's what you have heard from the very beginning. Lead a life of love that we've heard from God, and we can see how we can discover that life by reading the Bible and getting to know who God is. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope I see you next week with a whole new story.